Hello everyone, welcome to Bharat Kranti. Welcome to our PT-365 Current Affairs series, where we decode the PT-365 PDFs of Vision IAS for all subjects of the UPSC Civil Services Preliminary Exam or Prelims. This video is the part 1 of the environment section. So what is this PT-365 series about? In this PT-365 series, we are offering a line-by-line in-depth explanation of the PT-365 PDF for all subjects. Our approach is very simple and very clear. We explain every important line of the PT-365. We link current affairs with static concepts wherever required. We connect topics with previous year UPSC questions wherever relevant. So this is not just reading the PDF. This is learning how the UPSC expects you to read the current affairs. So how should you use this video series? You can use this series in any of the mentioned ways. Like you can watch this video first and get a conceptual understanding and then read the PT-365 on your own. Or you can first read the PT-365 PDFs, then come back to our video series for effective revision. Any approach will be perfectly fine. In either case, this series will definitely save your time, improve your retention, and help you prepare prelims in a smart way, not a mechanical way. Okay, any gaps left in your preparation will automatically get filled. As you move ahead in this series, you will clearly understand why this approach works. Okay, so one important clarification I want to give at the beginning. Let me clearly state that the source of this lecture is PT-365 PDF downloaded from the Vision IAS website. All credit for the content goes to them, entirely to Vision IAS. I have not prepared the material, but I have prepared the explanation, this presentation structure, I have gathered this PYQs from UPSC official website, and I have conceptually linked the PYQs and static concepts wherever it is relevant to the current affairs we are discussing. And this lecture is strictly for educational purposes. So let us see the PDF once to understand its structure. So understanding the structure of the PDF is very important, this PT-365. As you can see here, this environment PT-365 is 136 pages. See here on the right side. So 136 pages, it is having biodiversity section as the section 1. Then it is having the climate change here. So climate change is section 2. Then you can see here pollution. Section 3, pollution. So one is biodiversity, second is climate change, third is pollution, fourth is sustainable development. I will explain why this structure is designed this way. Then comes the fifth, disaster management. So see, environment is in UPSC mains GS3 paper. There is no particular syllabus for prelims. Okay, even though officially UPSC has given a syllabus for prelims, it is actually covering everything. So whatever is main syllabus, more or less the same is for the prelim syllabus, except that you will not read this world history, ethics, etc. Okay, internal security, etc. Otherwise, more or less what you read for mains, you will also read for prelims. The same syllabus, I mean, for the common subjects. So this environment is in GS3. So the current affairs of the disaster management, which is also in GS3, also included in this PDF. And you can also see here the current affairs of the geography, which is part of GS paper 1, is also given here. Okay, so this geography, agriculture, disaster management, environment, all these four are very closely linked. So the current affairs of all of these sections, not agriculture might be given as a part of economy. The remaining related subjects, current affairs, given in this same PDF itself. Okay, now let me explain why the structure of environment is organized this way: biodiversity, climate change, pollution, sustainable development, etc. So if you see the static portion of the environment subject, so when we see this static portion of the environment subject, you can take, by the way, you can take any PDF, like you can prepare from Shankar IAS environment PDF, or you can prepare from PMF IAS environment book. Okay, both are good. Okay, we recommend PMF IAS. On our channel we will be uploading PMF IAS book full lectures along with this PT-365, because we believe PMF IAS coupled with our PT-365 explanation and your newspaper reading and PYQ analysis, which we will also be doing as a separate series also. So all of this together makes your preparation comprehensive, complete. There are no gaps left in this way. Okay. So it is up to you, your source, whatever the source you pick up. This subject of environment is basically divided into these parts. First part is environment and ecology. So this is the most basic part where you will learn the basics. So here you will learn the basics of the ecology, like what is environment, what is ecosystem. Like environment you can imagine as a house, and ecosystem in that is a room. Like in a given house, you will have a kitchen, you will have a bedroom, you will have a hall, you will have a TV room, you will have a dining room. So all of these have separate purposes. So each room is like each ecosystem. We have desert ecosystem, we have oceanic ecosystem, water ecosystem, aquatic. We have terrestrial ecosystems on land. Okay. So different ecosystems are like different rooms in a house, and environment is the house, ecosystems are the rooms. So you will learn what is environment and what is ecosystem, what is ecology. Okay, the study of the relations between environment and the living species, etc. And you will learn about abiotic components, biotic components. Okay, you will learn about functions of ecology. There are various functions of ecology. Okay, then you will learn about like food chain, food web, ecological pyramids. Okay, I'm just telling you the topics briefly, whatever you will read in the static. And why we are seeing this static? Because when you understand the static portion, when we go back to the PDF start making sense. Okay, so in the environmental ecology, you will read this basic like food chain. There are something called ecological pyramids. I will show you how questions are also being asked from this section. Okay, there are a concept called biogeochemical cycles. Okay, then we will learn about different ecosystems, wetland ecosystems, aquatic ecosystems, terrestrial ecosystems, etc. Okay, so this is about the environment and ecology section particularly. So questions will come like this. See this PYQ. So they are asking about various types of ecosystems. Which ecosystem produce more oxygen? Whether it is marine ecosystem or rainforest. Okay, so questions will come like this. Pause the video and you can see the PYQ. Okay, I am just here to tell you what type of PYQs are being asked and how you should read this PDF. Why the linking to previous year questions is important? Because it tells you how to link this PYQ to your PDF. This year questions you will face on the day of the exam. How to prepare for that exam, how to read this PDF so that it helps you in that final exam. You can gain that wisdom from this PYQs. Okay. So PYQ will be a separate series on our channel. So I'm not explaining in detail here. I'm just only explaining what type of questions and how questions are being asked. So you can see here there is a question on food chain. Okay, then you can see again there is a question on wetland ecosystem. Okay. So there is a question on biogeochemical cycles, how cycles operate. You will read in this environment and ecology. Then various types of species in an ecosystem, role of species in a given ecosystem. Okay, so this is about the environment and ecology, which is the first part. There are 4 parts, and the first part is the environment ecology, which introduces you to the basic of the ecology. Then comes the biodiversity and conservation. So second section is biodiversity. Biodiversity means biological diversity, where you will read about various types of animals and plants, okay, that are living on earth. Okay, this diversity and how they are dependent on each other. What is the importance of biodiversity? And now humans are coming and they are killing many animals and plants. Many animals and plants on earth are dying because of human actions. So this is called loss of biodiversity, and there are some negative consequences with the loss of biodiversity. Like imagine honeybees pollinate all the flowers in the given area. What happens if there are no honeybees? Flowers will not become fruits. So when flowers will not become fruits, all the animals living on the plants will die, and all the higher level animals which are living on the primary animals will die. So there is a continuous collapse, successive collapse. Okay, so there is a devastating consequence with loss of biodiversity. Every species on earth is dependent on each other. Okay, so these type of things we will read in biodiversity. Okay, and we will see about various biodiversity hotspots and various conservation measures of biodiversity, like wildlife sanctuaries, national parks, biosphere reserves, etc. what Indian government is doing. Okay, we will see what are the laws Indian government is bringing for conservation of biodiversity, what are the international organizations and international conventions promoting biodiversity conservation. Okay, so this is what we will see. So you can see the previous year questions like this. So they're asking questions like they're giving some animal names. They're asking recognize these animals. Are they birds? Are they reptiles, etc. Then they're asking which of the animal is not a bird. So you are supposed to know the basic biodiversity of India. See, let me tell you one thing. So few years back, till few years back, the exam for civil services is different from Indian Forest Services. Okay, Forest Service. This exam and this exam is different. So Forest Service, obviously you can recognize from the name itself. They are expected to have more knowledge about the environment. Okay, environment, forest, etc. On the other hand, civil service aspirants are generalists. They will have general knowledge about all the subjects like history, art and culture, society, geography, polity, international relations, including environment, economy, environment, science. So they are expected to have maximum knowledge in diverse subjects. These forest service people, aspirants, supposed to have more knowledge in environment and also minimum knowledge in other subjects. So a few years back, UPSC has combined these two exams. Now they are conducting same prelims for both the exams. So what is the consequence of this? The consequence of this is that our environment MCQs from environment section became more tougher. Some questions are easy like this. There are some simple questions, but there are some difficult questions. So aspirants are so much worried about environment section. But let me tell you a simple technique. If you are an aspirant primarily preparing for civil services, don't go too much depth into environment, because that is not your strength. It is not supposed to be your strength. So instead you prepare art and culture, okay, history, ancient, medieval, modern, etc. You read geography well, you read polity, you read economy. See, geography and polity are like easiest subjects of prelims. If you read properly, there will be no shocking questions. And economy also, if you read properly, if you understand economy properly, questions are comparatively easy. Okay. Then science and technology, international relations are directly from current affairs, mostly from current affairs, more than 95% questions. So by properly reading current affairs, questions from this can be answered. Now these sections are easy by default. If you properly cover the basic standard books of these sections, same, these are also becoming bit tough like environment, bit difficult like environment. So from environment, art and culture, history, you should cover basic standard books. So you can answer like 70% of questions, and you target all the remaining portions completely. This should be your strategy if you are a civil service aspirant. Okay, do not try to answer all the 100 questions. You don't have to answer all the 100 questions. It is just enough to be above cutoff, and that is how paper is being designed. Paper is not being designed in such a way that a serious aspirant will answer all the 100 questions. Paper is intentionally designed in such a way that there are aspirants from multiple backgrounds. There will be aspirants from medical background, there will be aspirants from engineering background, there will be aspirants from law background, there will be aspirants from agriculture and environment background. So all these kind of aspirants, whoever does their sincere preparation, regardless of their background, their paper is being designed in such a way that they will be above the cutoff. Okay, so do not try for 100 marks of the final exam. You will be knowing only 20 to 30. Any person, however hard he prepares, he can be sure of maximum 20 to 30 questions. Remaining questions, they will do something called intelligent guessing. Okay, intelligent guessing. Please watch. There is a video on how to prepare for prelims. There I have explained what is this intelligent guessing. So with intelligent guessing, you have to reach at least 85 questions. That should be your prelim strategy. So do not worry too much about the difficulty of environment questions. You do what you are supposed to do. Cover the basic environment portions, read current affairs properly. 80% of the questions can be answered. Leave the remaining 20% to the luck or your intelligent guessing. Whatever you have already read, it may be enough to solve through elimination techniques. Okay, but if you aim for 100%, you will waste too much time in the environment section. Remaining subjects will be neglected. Answer test practice will be neglected. So ultimately you will fail. Don't do that. Okay, target only for 80%. See here a question on Indian squirrels. Okay, so the nature of Any animal which is in news, you should know. Okay. See here, they are asking a question on Indian squirrels. They are asking on a government act, Wildlife Protection Act. As I told you, in this section and for the next section, which is the pollution and the climate change. So these two sections will also cover what are the conventions on international level, what are the actions of the government of India being taken. You should also know those actions, laws, etc. Okay, any schemes, any projects, any international conventions, any international resolutions, any international organizations, etc. Okay, so here is a question on the act. Next, after environment and ecology comes the and biodiversity and conservation. There is a topic called pollution and climate change. So this is the third section of the environment section. You can see first you are moving to basic, then you are moving to something that is related to life, then you are moving to human actions, how we are polluting the earth in various ways and how we are causing a fundamental change in the climate of the earth. So humans are causing so much various types of pollution: air pollution, water pollution, soil pollution, light, noise, thermal, radioactive, plastic pollution, electronic pollution. There are very different types of pollutions. So whatever we are doing is not sustainable. We destroy ourselves, we destroy other life on the planet, we destroy the planet itself if we continue in this path. Okay, so here we will learn what are various types of pollutions, various sources of pollutions and the consequence of such pollutions. Okay, and we will learn how it is changing the climate, the fundamental nature of the earth, and we will see what are the international organizations working to solve this problem. Okay, what are the conventions of those organizations and what is government of India is doing, what are the acts related to it, like there is something called Environmental Protection Act in India. Okay, questions can be like this. See, there is a PYQ on plastic here. Then there is a PYQ on carbon dioxide, okay, emission. So questions will be like this. Then you see there is a question on something called climate action tracker. Okay, so it is a database created for monitoring international emissions. Okay, the increase in global warming, etc. So climate action tracker, so it is in news. So any organization, actions, initiatives of such organizations in news, any actions by government of India, these becomes very important. Okay, so hope you are understanding how to read the current affairs. Okay, after environment, ecology, biodiversity and conservation, pollution and climate change, next comes the sustainable development. So this is the last part of the environment section. So here we are combining all these three. So environment, ecology, we are reading what is the natural state of the earth, and we are seeing what is happening to the biodiversity. We are seeing what is how much pollution we are causing. So now we are combining all these three sections in the end. Now we want to develop. Everyone wants development. No one wants to live in poverty forever. Everyone wants progress, everyone wants development. But the development should be in such a way that it is not harmful for anyone. So we have developed this concept of sustainable development. Like in this section, we will learn like for renewable energy, how to stop using fossil fuels and how to shift towards renewable energy, solar energy, wind energy, etc. So this is an example of movement towards sustainable development. Use fuel, it's okay. But don't use fossil fuels, use renewable fuel, okay, renewable energy, use solar power, okay, use battery cars. So this is the concept of sustainable development. Any organizations, any acts for sustainable development, we will see, okay, any government schemes for sustainable development becomes very, very important. That comes under this part, okay. So we have some goals for ourselves, and let me tell you one thing, sustainable development is not just related to environment. It is multidimensional. There is economic component, there is social component for this. So in this GS3 environment or in this environment section for prelims, we will see only environment part of sustainable development. We are not discussing economics here. We are not discussing social dimensions of sustainable development here. Let us start this PT-365 environment PDF. So now see the structure again. So now you understand why there is biodiversity, because environment and ecology is fully static part. There is not much current affairs part for that. Okay, all the current affairs part is from biodiversity and climate change. So biodiversity is given as section 1. There are subtopics in that. Then comes the climate change as section 2. Then you can see pollution in section 3, sustainable development in section 4. Okay, so disaster management and geography is section 5 and 6. Okay, so let us start. There is places in news also given, so which also comes under geography mapping. Okay, so let us start with biodiversity. First 1.1 is wildlife and conservation. Okay, wildlife and conservation. So wildlife, that means animals and plants living in the wild, and conservation of it. So first news is about IUCN World Conservation Congress. It is talking about Conservation Congress. So it is a meeting. IUCN World Conservation Congress is a meeting of an organization called IUCN. Okay, it is taking place, this 2025 IUCN World Conservation Congress is taking place in Abu Dhabi. Just give me a minute. So this IUCN World Conservation Congress taking place in Abu Dhabi in UAE. So which country is hosting this year? It is UAE. So there are some key resolutions taken. What are the key resolutions? They were taken at something called Member Assembly, a meeting of body called Member Assembly in this World Conservation Congress. So what are the key resolutions? They have adopted something called Unite for Nature on the Path to 2045. Unite for Nature on the Path to 2045. So in news, in exam, this can it can come like this: Unite for Nature on the path to 2045. This is related to which organization? Okay, they can ask like that. Like, see this. So invasive species specialist group. It belongs to which one of the following organization? In fact, IUCN is mentioned as the options. Okay, questions will come like this. Okay. So Unite for Nature on the path to 2045 is which organizations? It is IUCN. Okay, it is a 20-year strategic vision from 2025 to 2045. Abu Dhabi call to action. So Abu Dhabi call to action to accelerate across 5 key areas. So they have adopted something called Abu Dhabi call to action. Okay, so it is talking about 5 key areas. First one is reaffirming nature as a foundation of well-being. So they are recognizing nature's role in our well-being. Then strengthening multilateralism. Okay, multilateralism. So there is no domination of any one country or one group. Okay, the responsibility, okay, is on everyone. Ensuring justice and inclusion. So in these measures to improve the environment, in these measures to conserve the nature, we should also ensure justice and inclusion. Okay, justice of everyone, like forest living tribes, etc., and inclusion of everyone. Okay. Then advancing knowledge and innovation. So if I am being too slow, you can just speed up the video. If I am too fast, you can just slow down the video. Okay. But anyone who is listening for the first time, I recommend to watch at the same speed. So advancing knowledge and innovation, scaling up resources for nature and climate action, increasing the resources. So you can see here they are mixing climate action, conservation. They are mixing conservation, okay, and climate action. Sorry, they are mixing conservation and climate action and social justice. Okay, social justice. Just forget this. They are mixing climate action, conservation, and social justice. Okay. So next one is over 100 new members. Over 100 new members, including six states. Like, so 100 new members. That means in this organization, members can be countries or private organizations, NGOs, private individuals. Anyone can be members. There is no mandatory bar saying that it is only for countries. Okay, it is not a intergovernmental organization. It is open for any organization, private or government. Okay, you can see here 100 new members joined. In that there are 6 countries. Okay, Armenia, Tajikistan, Marshall Island, Gabon, Tuvalu, and Zimbabwe. Okay, and they have also adopted a motion advocating for just phase out of fossil fuels. So what is just phase out of fossil fuels? Just phase out means, see, now countries divided broadly into 2, developed countries and developing countries. So developed countries have already, rich countries have already developed the technology to shift from fossil fuels like coal, petroleum, natural gas to renewable energy like solar, wind energy, nuclear energy, etc. So they have shifted to this non-fossil fuel energy and they are comfortable with it. There is no significant impact on them because they already have the enough technology and enough money. On the other hand, we have developing countries who are poor countries. They don't have the technology and money to fully shift from fossil fuels to renewable energy. Shifting to renewable energy will cost them, okay, will impact them in other ways. So shifting should be just, because all the pollution happened till now mostly happened of developed countries. They are the one rapidly industrializing, polluting the whole climate. But right now everyone is arguing for banning these fossil fuels and shifting to renewable energy. But we did not do anything. Developing countries did not do anything. All the pollution, most of the pollution has done by the developing countries. Again, now they are in advantageous position. Now they are saying let us shift to the non-fossil fuels so that we can protect the earth. You are the one that have caused the harm. So this is the argument of the developing countries. So developing countries should be given opportunities to develop themselves first and slowly phase out like developed countries doing right now. So it should be just. Just means fair. Okay, something just means fair. So this motion advocated for just phase out of fossil fuels. Then they have recognized wild animals as climate allies, like the example I have told, like bees. So we have honeybees and various types of bees which help in the pollination of the many plants and flowers. So this is an example how wild animals can be helping climate. Okay. First ever World Summit of Indigenous People and Nature. So first ever World Summit of Indigenous People. Who are indigenous people? Indigenous people are the people in native people. Like if you see the Australian Aborigines, before the white people went to the Australia, there are some group of people called Aborigines of Australia, the native tribal people of Australia. Same goes for Native Americans. There are some native tribal people before these white Europeans have gone there. Okay, you can call these tribals who live in the forest also indigenous people. So there are indigenous people everywhere. You must have heard about these Inuits, or derogatory term Eskimos are used for this. Native people of Arctic, they are called Inuits. Okay, so all of these are indigenous people and no one is speaking of their rights. Everyone is focused on the mainstream people, more advanced people. So this IUCN has organized the World Summit of Indigenous People and Nature for the first time. Okay. Now what is this IUCN we are talking about? This IUCN. So IUCN is the world's largest and most diverse environmental network. It is environmental network. It works for environment. Okay. It works on environment, protecting the environment, climate, conserving biodiversity, stopping pollution. It is its role. Okay. Managing natural resources like water, forests, etc. And it is in Gland, Switzerland. You can see here. It is founded in 1948. Okay. Membership 1400. As I told you, states, that means countries, NGOs, research institutions, anyone can be member, and India is a member. Okay. And they have a body called Members Assembly. This Members Assembly is the highest governing body. It meets at this IUCN World Conservation Congress, which is held for once for every 4 years. And this time it is being held by who? It is UAE. Okay, hosted by one of the IUCN members, held every 4 years. And in between these 4 years meeting of the Members Assembly, they will take the large decision. They are like the Parliament of India. They will take the biggest decisions. Once they have taken the decisions, the day-to-day decisions will be taken by this IUCN Council. They are like Council of Ministers. Okay, Prime Minister and other ministers. IUCN Council is the principal governing body between sessions. Okay, and the purpose is they run thousands of field projects around the world for resource management and nature conservation. And IUCN is famous for some reports and some list. There is something you should know of IUCN. It is called IUCN Red List. It is most famous for this Red List. Okay, it is. I will tell you what is this Red List. First, understand it is just a book telling about status of every animal. What is the safety status? Is that animal vulnerable to extinction or it is already extinct? Okay, cheetahs in India gone extinct. That means there are no more cheetahs in India. So we are importing them from South Africa, Namibia, etc. So extinct means completely gone. There was a time cheetahs lived in India, but we have killed all of them. So the status, the extinction status is listed in this Red List, IUCN. This Red List book is prepared by IUCN. IUCN is famous for that. So along with this IUCN Red List, it is also releasing some reports like Report on Protected Areas. So this Report on Protected Areas is released by IUCN World Commission on Protected Areas. So this IUCN is having some bodies. Like there are 7 IUCN commissions you can see here. This IUCN is the broader organization. Under it there are some commissions. So in this commission, there is one body called World Commission on Protected Areas. Now we are talking about this particular sub-commission of IUCN. These are expert commissions of IUCN. Okay. This IUCN World Commission on Protected Areas has released a report called IUCN Report on Protected Areas. What are protected areas? Protected areas means these wildlife sanctuaries, national parks. We will see as we go into the PDF. We will see everything in depth. Then there is something called IUCN World Heritage Outlook. What is Heritage Outlook? Heritage means something we are proud of, something we have inherited from our forefathers and we are giving to the future generations. Something we are proud of, like national parks of India, Kanchenjunga National Park. Okay, there is something called Western Ghats in India, very significant vegetation, very unique landform. So these are natural heritage. Okay, heritage can be natural or cultural, like take Taj Mahal. Taj Mahal is a cultural heritage, but Western Ghats is a natural heritage. So this IUCN is releasing World Heritage Outlook on natural heritage things. Okay, so this is the brief about the IUCN. So similar to the IUCN Red List. Now I told you IUCN is releasing this. IUCN is releasing this red list. So in the similar way, India is also preparing its own national red list roadmap. Okay, so we have a vision for this period 2025 to 2030. For this 5-year period, we also want to prepare our own red list for all the species in India. So there are almost, this list is prepared for almost 11,000 species in India. So it is a 5-year initiative aiming to assess the extinction risk of 11,000 species. So this unveiled by India to strengthen its biodiversity conservation. We want to know the conservation status of the animals so that we can properly conserve them. Something is almost close to extinct, we have to give them higher preference. So the vision is to establish a nationally coordinated and participatory red listing system that reflects the true conservation status of Indian species of flora and fauna across India's diverse ecosystems. Okay, the goal is to publish national red data books for both flora and fauna by 2030. What is the nodal agency? Who is the nodal agency? It is Union Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. They will coordinate all the activities. And who are preparing this? Coordinated by the ministry, but who are the ones preparing it? It is being prepared by Zoological Council in India, Botanical Council in India, and Center for Species Survival. Okay, and IUCN in India. So IUCN, this section of IUCN in India, and Center for Species Survival, Zoological Survey of India, Botanical Survey of India. All these four together preparing this India's red list. Now whenever you see a body like this in news, like Zoological Survey of India, just go and read a brief about it, basic facts about it. Then it will be covered in prelims. Like you can see here, what is Zoological Survey of India? You can see here, it formed in 1916. Now its purpose is to research on animals and conservation of the animals in India. It is in Calcutta and it is under Ministry of Environment and Forest and Climate Change. Now come to the Botanical Survey of India. This is Zoological Survey of India. This is Botanical Survey of India. It established in 1890. It is also in Calcutta, West Bengal. See, both are in Zoological Survey of India, Botanical Survey of India. Both are same. Headquarters of the both are same. And it is also under Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. Now what is this Center for Species Survival? It is just an initiative of IUCN. Okay, IUCN. We know there are multiple commissions under this IUCN. Under IUCN, there is something called Species Survival Commission. This is the one that prepares the red list we are talking about, that prepares the data for this red list book. Now this Species Survival Commission helping India to prepare its own red list book. Okay. Now moving on. So here there is a line mentioning that. So our red list book, our vision is also aligned with some global conventions like Convention on Biological Diversity, CBD. We will see what is this CBD. Okay. In future, we will see what is this CBD. Then there is another framework called Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. It is under this CBD only. In this convention, there is a framework called Kunming-Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework. We will see as we go in deep into the PDF. We will see. Okay. So we are aligning our initiatives with global initiatives. That is the theme here. Now key instruments of IUCN in news. So some initiatives and instruments of IUCN in news we are seeing here. First one is red list. Of course, as I told you, it is the most famous one. And this red list initiative started by IUCN in 1964. What it does, it divides species into 9 categories. Okay. And it is updated at least twice each year. Let me tell you what is this division. So any species like lions, okay, elephants, or any plants, okay, it will take foxes, you take cheetahs, any animal or plant you take. So all species, there are two possibilities. Either IUCN evaluate, it will evaluate means it will see what was the status of the animal before humans living on earth. Okay, what is the current status? So there were cheetahs throughout India before we started killing them. Now cheetahs, there are no cheetahs in India. So this is the gathering by, this is analyzing of the present situation. So you will gather data, you will evaluate the present situation, and you will come up with a category like this. Either it is not evaluated or it is evaluated. Under evaluating, if you get proper data, it is okay, you have adequate data. If you do not get proper data, it is data deficient. Or you can ignore this. Okay. So of all the animals with adequate data, if an animal is in enough quantity and distributed well enough, it is least concern. Like take our street dogs. Dogs are everywhere. Squirrels are everywhere. Okay, so you don't have to worry about street dogs, street cats. They're everywhere. The number is good and they're everywhere. So you can say they're of least concern. Then if something is worrying, like previously you used to see something, now it is not everywhere. Like the sparrows we used to see in our childhood. Now we are not seeing that sparrows much. So if something is not visible like that, that is, you can call it near threatened. It is still visible, but there is some decline in its population. Now, moving to the higher category. If something declined significantly, the numbers of something declined significantly, then you can say it is vulnerable. It is vulnerable to extinction. Okay. If something has significantly declined, like lions in India. In India, you have lions. So previously throughout central India, we have lions. If this is India, if this is India, previously throughout central India, we used to have lions. But now lions are confined to a small region in Gujarat. So, but now they are good. Now they are good in number in that region. But that historical habitat, the historical place of the lions got decreased. So lion is endangered. It is very closer to the extinction. Critically endangered. If something declined so much and the situation is very, very critical, like literally raising an alarm, either you do something now or you will lose the species. The species will die. Then it is called critically endangered. Okay. And you can ignore this. It means extinction in a particular region. Like cheetahs were extinct in India, but not in Africa. So you can say cheetahs are regionally extinct in India. So extinct in the wild, that means in the wild, that means in the nature it is extinct. Something is stored only in zoos, okay, or human habitations. It is stored only in zoos, okay. In the wild it is extinct. Only in artificial enclosures it is still present. Then comes the extinct. That means nowhere you can see this. Nowhere you can see it anywhere. So based on the level of risk they are facing, we are categorizing extinction from bottom to top. And IUCN is doing this. So it is categorizing all species into 9 different ways here. Okay. So this is the IUCN red list of species. Now there are some updates. That is why it is in news. Why it is in news? There are some updates being made to this red list. That is why it is news. What are the updates? Like there are some. See here, it is global, and here it is India. You should focus more on Indian biodiversity. You cannot read everything about every animal everywhere in the world. It is not possible. No one can do. Even an expert in environment cannot do it. What you should do for the exam? You should read about all the Indian animals, basic, like whatever given in the book. Now I am not suggesting you to go outside of the book. Whatever the standard book you are reading, read about the species, basic things mentioned in that book. Then read about the animals, Indian animals that are in the news specifically. Read more about that, like read about the nature. If lion is in news, we will see an article about lion in the next few minutes. So because lion in news, read about the basic features of Indian lion, where it is living, what is its IUCN status, what is its nature, etc. Otherwise, you can just know and move on. Okay, don't go beyond this PDF. Now for the global species other than in India, don't give too much attention. You read it. If it is coming an exam and you remember, okay, it is in the remaining 20% tougher questions. Okay, it will be in the remaining 20% tougher questions. If you spend too much time, it will be at the cost of other subjects. Okay, so 3 species of article seals, okay, they have moved closer to the extinction. That means the number of these article seals is decreasing. Okay, they have moved closer to the extinction. Okay, article seals, I mean like this. Okay, Then green sea turtle. Now it was now conservation is successful. So from endangered it was moved to least concern. Now the number of green sea turtles is good enough. So now we are downgrading its IUCN status. That means now it is least concern. It is okay. Now the numbers have improved. Now coming to the India. Now here they are talking about 12 bird species. So here we are talking about bird species. See, one important PYQ thing I want to tell you about that. See here, you don't have to read about all animals in detail. The basic requirement is, if you see an animal name, you should recognize which type of species it is. See here, they have given some names. Ceylon frogmouth, coppersmith barbet, grey-chinned minivet, white-throated redstart. They are simply asking what are these. You need not to know any additional information. Okay, they are birds. So when you see Ceylon frogmouth, you are supposed to know it is a bird. Okay, that basic information is expected. And even these questions are because of inclusion of Indian Forest Service into civil services exam. Okay, so in this PDF we are reading whatever the animals you are coming across. Just try to identify which type of animal it is. Okay, at least. Okay, so much information is given in the PDF. It is very difficult to remember, but you can do these basic things. Okay, so here all the species now I am talking about, they are birds. What is Indian courser? It is a bird. What is Indian roller? It is a bird. Rufous-tailed lark, it is bird. They are moved to near threatened. You can ignore this. It is very difficult to remember. Throughout our PDF, we will read like 1000 animals and plants. It is not easy to remember all of the IUCN status of all of them. Okay, for only important animals you can remember, like lions and elephants. These names just remember as which type of species. Okay, so what is long-billed grasshopper warbler? It is also a bird. And they have adopted first our policy on synthetic biology and nature conservation. What is this synthetic biology? So what is synthetic biology? Synthetic biology is an interdisciplinary field that combines biology, engineering and computer science. So we traditionally have biology, engineering and computer science. Now you combine these three to create new biological parts. Like you create artificial limb but not out of metal in traditional ways. Now you create artificial limb with the normal cells we have. Now that will feel different. And it has some intelligence, okay, using computer science, engineering, etc. Okay, like create an artificial heart with the natural cells. Now it is called synthetic biology. Okay, so you can see here engineered microbes, etc. This is synthetic biology. You can say creating biological parts, systems and organisms not found in natural world. You create a bacteria which eats plastic. It is not existing in normal environment. Natural world, there is no, let's say, for example, I'm not sure, I'm saying, let's say in natural world, there is no bacteria that can eat plastic completely within minutes or seconds. But we using this synthetic, using biology, engineering and computer science, you have created such a thing. Then it is called synthetic biology. Okay, you can see the examples and applications here. Okay, so they have adopted a policy on synthetic biology and the benefits it is going to give the regulation of synthetic biology so that it can be useful to the nature's conservation. Okay, then they have also recognized something called ecocide. What is ecocide? So side, matricide, fratricide, okay, homicide, these all related to kind of murders, killing. So ecocide means killing environment. Okay, deliberate damaging environment is recognized as a crime, and they are asking this International Criminal Court also to recognize this as a crime. Okay, so this IUCN we have seen. So similar to red list, now they are preparing something called IUCN green list. Okay, green status of species. So red color is meaning danger. We are discussing here what is the level of danger they are facing. Okay, now we are talking about good thing, positive thing, which is green means something safer. Okay, so green list are proposed at IUCN at 2012 World Conservation Congress, but launched in 2021. So green status of species assessment is optional. So it is not mandatory to do that for every animal or every plant. So only when someone requests and only when there is a need, only IUCN does this assessment of green status. And under this, what they do? They will measure the conservation success of species, ecosystems, protected areas, etc. So let's say tiger in India is threatened, and government is conducting something called Project Tiger. Indian government started something called Project Tiger in 1970s. So after 50 years, tiger numbers have increased significantly in India. So this Project Tiger is successful. Now if I measure how many tigers are there, how much it has improved, and given it a rating, like extinction I am giving rating. To this, if I give rating, then it is called green status. Okay. You can see here, like this red list rating we have seen. In the similar way, if we give rating to the green list, okay, like whether they are critically depleted, or they are largely depleted, or only slightly moderate, or they have fully recovered or not, they have not depleted at all. So this status, if we give, it is green list. Now we are talking about recovery. We are seeing this in this way. This is extinction. We are seeing this in this way. Okay, bottom to top. So it is complementing the red list, and it is highlighting the success of the conservation measures. Okay, so 8 status we have seen here already. Okay, so over 100 IS in green status of species assessment they have done. They will give a green score, something called green score. The higher the score, the more is the recovery. So if something is recovering very less extent, not recovered well, we will give only 20% rating. If something has recovered very nicely, good, we will give 80%, 90% rating. Okay. So we will verify whether it is presenting in all of its historical range or not. Like as I told you, lion previously used to be throughout central India. Now it is limited to only some parts of Gujarat. So we will compare how much it has recovered throughout its historical range. Range means the total area it has lived on, and whether it is viable or not. Okay, now the numbers have increased. Is it viable, or again within few years again they might fall? Okay, or whether it is performing its ecological functions or not. Every animal or every plant has ecological function, like I have told you, bee, and there is a ecological function for lion also. Lion controls the deer population. If there is no lion, number of deers will increase too much, and all the deers will eat all the grass, and all the deers will die, all the animals living on the grass will die. So ecosystem will collapse. So their nature is in a perfect balance actually. So everyone has a natural ecological role. So this animal is performing its ecological role or not, they will see. So if everything is positive, they will give a good green score and green status. Then there is something called Kenton or Miller Award. So it is given by this IUCN World Commission of Protected Areas. So we are talking about this protected area commission. Okay, so we are talking about previously species survival commission. Now this award is given by this World Commission on Protected Areas. So why it is in news? Because first time an Indian has received. Okay, an Indian who is the director of the Kaziranga. So Kaziranga, there is a national park called Kaziranga National Park in Assam. So the director of that Kaziranga National Park has become the first Indian to receive this award from IUCN because of his efforts. He has given so much innovative solutions to many issues and conservation measures for that area. Okay, so this award started in 2006. This award is not important. So this news is not important. This award is not important. What is important here is the bodies of the IUCN, because they are frequently in news. If something coming first time in news, it is okay to ignore it. But if something is coming again and again in news, you should read it. And the next news article is about the Species Survival Commission. So because these are coming in news continuously, you should know about these two at least. Recognize that these two are under IUCN. They are expert commissions under IUCN. Okay, so it honors individuals who show innovation and leadership in conserving national parks and protected areas, presented every 2 years by IUCN and World Commission for Protected Areas. Next, IUCN Species Survival Commission. Okay, as I told you, the next body is IUCN Species Survival Commission. Established in 1949, it is a science-based network of more than 10,500 volunteer experts. And an Indian called Vivek Menon has become the new chairman of this commission. That is why it is in news. Okay, what is this commission does? It provides the information to IUCN on biodiversity conservation and the value of the species, role of the species, role of the ecosystems, functioning of the ecosystems, etc. Okay, they will study the nature, they will study the animals, they will study the plants, and they will give data to the IUCN. Based on that, IUCN will release the reports and prepare the list. Okay. Next one is IUCN World Heritage Outlook Report. As I told you, IUCN releases this report also, IUCN World Heritage Report. So what they do? This is what they do. So they will see this World Heritage locations, natural heritage I'm talking about, not cultural heritage. All the national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves we have, All of these are our and all of the important geographical landforms like Western Ghats. All of these are our protected areas, natural heritage. So these are ranked in this conservation outlook. Like it is in good state. It is good, but there are some concerns. Okay, now the health of this particular heritage site is not good. It is of significant concern. It is very critical. Government should do something. If there is too much deforestation in Western Ghats, now it will be significant concern. Okay, recently some debate happening around this Western Ghats, mining, etc. So that is also in news, and there is also some debate around Aravalis, the definition of Aravalis. So these are some issues of concern around these protected sites or natural heritage. Okay, so this commission of IUCN categorizes these heritage sites in this way, and now they are saying Western Ghats in India and two other parks like Manas National Park in Assam and Sundarbans National Park in West Bengal. So Western Ghat in South India touching Kerala, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Gujarat, etc. So this Western Ghats, Sundarbans National Park, Manas National Park, these are given the status of significant concern in this World Heritage Outlook. Then Kanchenjunga National Park in Sikkim, it remained good. Okay. Next come to the green status assessment of the lion. So I told you, if there is any animal in news, we should know the basic information about it and basic behavior also. If it is a very important animal frequently coming in news, please also learn about its behavior. Why, I will tell you. So questions will come like this. See this question about Indian elephant. Take a minute and see this question about the nature of elephants of India. Okay, Indian elephants. What is the organization method? Who is the leader of the group? The group of the elephant, the leader of the elephant group will always be a female, the eldest female. Okay, and gestation period is 22 months. Yes, on the planet Earth, the elephants have the maximum gestation period 22 months. And this third statement is wrong, and fourth statement is also wrong. Highest population is in Karnataka. Okay, so based on the information, general information of elephant and information is news, like Karnataka having higher number of elephants is in news actually that year. So question is given. This question is from 2020, I think. Then there is a question on lions, cheetahs together. India has imported cheetahs from Namibia and South Africa that year in 2024, I think, and they have given this question. Okay, lions are always in news. Every year lions are in news. Lions do not have a particular breeding season. Unlike most other cats, cheetahs do not roar. Okay, unlike male lions, male leopards do not proclaim their territory by scent. So questions will be like this. See, the nature and behavior of the lion is given as a question. So that is why, and we have seen this this question on Indian fox also we have seen previously in the PPT. So that is why any animal in news, you should read it carefully. If there is a necessity, you should also go for the basic information. And let me tell you this. So this is the traditional habitat of the lion. So these are the countries, these are the regions traditionally lions used to reside. You can see here this throughout Africa from north to southern part. Throughout Africa, lions used to reside from north to south, and this Arabia, okay, Iraq, Iran, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and throughout the central India, this is the traditional habitat, historical habitat of lion. Okay, this is what I'm talking about. In the past, throughout central India, lions used to be we are having. Now it is limited to the small portion in the Gujarat here. Okay, so this is the traditional habitat of lion. And you have African lion here in the continent of Africa, and you have Asian lion here. Okay, Indian lion or Asian lion here. So they have released the green status assessment. We are talking about green status assessment, which is optional one. For lion, they have given. Okay, so lion is a species. In that lion, based on the region, there will be subspecies. Okay, like African lion, Asiatic lion, etc. Okay, so green assessment of lion given. So it is in news, and what is the green status? It is largely depleted. So it used to live in this very, very bigger region. Now it is largely depleted from its historical habitat. Like take the example of India itself. From the throughout central India, it has depleted to only this region. That's what we are talking about. Okay, its status is largely depleted, and there is IUCN status. This is for the lion species throughout the world. General lion species, IUCN status. If you talk about Indian lion or Asiatic lion, it is EN, endangered. Okay, it is EN, endangered. Now, regions where it is extinct region, from North Africa it gone extinct, and Southwest Asia. So from North Africa it gone extinct. Okay, from North Africa it has gone extinct. Okay, and South Asia it has gone extinct. Maybe in India, in the some region it is living. Okay, South Asia it is extinct. Where the conservation is successful, parts of West and South Central Africa and South Africa and India. So parts of West Africa. So in parts of West Africa, South Central Africa, South Africa and India. Here it is the success of the lion conservation program. Okay, now you see here there is something called CITES. What is CITES? CITES is an international agreement. It is an international agreement between governments to protect the species. Okay, it is Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species of Wild Fauna and Flora. Okay, it is an international agreement between various governments to ensure wild animals and plants are not illegally smuggled. Okay, so it is an agreement, and for every animal based on the vulnerability, it will put in an appendix. Like CITES will have 3 attachments. This CITES agreement will have 3 attachments. Appendix 1, Appendix 2, Appendix 3. Okay, as we go on further, we will see what are these appendices, etc. Each appendix we will read. But see here, it is given this CITES, this lion is mentioned in Appendix 1. Okay, so here it is given Asiatic lion IUCN status is vulnerable. Please confirm. Okay, please double check whether it is endangered or vulnerable. Okay, as far as I remember, it is endangered. Maybe it got updated. Okay, but the IUCN status of lion in general is vulnerable overall, all species together. And India has something called Wildlife Protection Act, and in this act there are schedules. So our Wildlife Protection Act also, we have something called Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, 1972. In this we have some schedules: Schedule 1, Schedule 2, Schedule 3, Schedule 4. Okay, there were, in the past there were 6 schedules, but recently it was amended and now there are only 4 schedules. So it is also, as we go further into the PDF, we will explain, like if something is placed in 1, it is very important. In the same way in the site, if something is placed in Appendix 1, it is very important. Okay, here you can see this, it is very important that here it is mentioned in Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act, also Appendix 1 of CITES. So lion is very important species across the world because of the ecological role it plays. Okay, it controls the population of the deer. Okay, so see here the difference between, there is a comparison between Asiatic lion and African lion given here. So Asiatic lion primarily now limited to Gir National Park in Gujarat in India. In most parts it has gone extinct. In Africa, in sub-Saharan Africa, savannas, grasslands. So this is the sub-Saharan Africa. So this is the Sahara. This is the Sahara region. So this is the sub-Saharan Africa. Okay. Main means this hairy region around this hairy region around the lion species. This is called mane. Okay. So it is sparser and shorter. Ears are almost visible. But for African lions, this mane is denser. Okay. Often covers ears and neck. Belly fold, a distinctive longitudinal skin fold along the belly is common. See this skin fold here, this skin fold. It is common for the Asiatic lions. Belly fold, but it is absent in African lions. Okay, Asiatic lions are smaller. African lions are generally larger. Okay, you can see the image here. See here, this is Asiatic lion, smaller, lesser mane, lesser hair. Okay, ears are visible clearly. Okay, it is comparatively thin. See this African lion, it is very muscular. The mane is larger. Okay. So here also it is given the difference between Asian and African lion. So other characteristics, no particular breeding season. See here, it is already given in the previous year question. That is what they are repeating, I think. So lions do not have a particular breeding season. So it might be true. Okay. Conservation Project Lion was announced on August 15, 2020. So Indian government has a conservation scheme for lion called Project Lion, which is launched in 2020. Now there is a greater Gir concept. So present it is limited to the Gir National Park in India, but now we are expanding the region, expanding the habitat of the lion. We are shifting these lions, or we are creating the conditions for the lions to shift to larger areas. If something is limited into a very lesser area and something happens to that area, like a storm, some wildfire. All the lions in that area will be dead, and the last area also will go extinct. So to distribute the risk, to lessen the risk to the animals, we are trying to expand the habitats of the lion beyond Gir to other areas in Gujarat. All these other areas are also in Gujarat. Okay. So here it is given, as per the amendments made under the Wildlife Protection Amendment Act 2022, species that are covered under appendices of site are now listed under the Schedule 4 of the Act. So here they are telling that, here they are saying that, so sites have 3 appendices. So any animal mentioned in any of the appendices here, it will be placed in the Schedule 4 of the Wildlife Protection Act. Okay, and there is news about Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, which is also in Gujarat. So Barda is emerging as the second home for Asiatic lions. So the number of Asiatic lions in this Barda Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat is increasing. What are the key flora? That means flora means plants, fauna means animals. So key flora found in this region: Gorad, Babul, Dav, Ryan, Bear, Jamun, Amili, Dudlu, Bamboo, etc. So what is Babul, Dav, Ryan? These are plant species. Key fauna: Sambar, Cheetal, Chinkara. So you can see the lion lives in grass regions. So grassland, in grassland there will be deer, antelope. So deer and antelope, so it is a common image. You can imagine, usually lion and deer are pictured together, imagined together, even in movies also. So you can remember in such way, using that technique. The important animals in the same Barda Wildlife Sanctuary where lions live are, there are 2 deer. Sambar is a deer, Cheetal is a deer. This chinkara is called antelope, it is not deer. Okay, if you want to know, Google the difference between deer and antelope. So you can see here, this is the Barda Wildlife Sanctuary in Gujarat. Okay. So let us stop here. Let us end the session here. In the next video, we will continue from here. Okay.